Now we will start another topic of our syllabus from the chapter Object Oriented Software Engineering. It is Object Oriented System Development. In order to develop a system, or we will say a software, a systematic approach should be adopted, satisfying two viewpoints, internal and external. From internal point of view, we have to consider everything about the software from the developer's view, which has to be maintained so that it can be easily modified, extend and reuse. When it comes to external point of view, it means from the user's view, it has to be accurate in result generation, reliable and easy to learn with adapt. And thus, to satisfy the individual's viewpoint, a use case driven approach, considering as object orientation in the center, in software engineering was proposed, which is referred to as now object oriented software engineering, that is OOSE, having SDLC consisting of three phases. As you all aware about the term SDLC, here this SDLC stands for Software Development Life Cycle, that you have already studied in your second year BCS. These phases of SDLC of Object Oriented Software Engineering are Object Oriented Analysis, that is OOA, Object Oriented Design, that is OOD, and Object Oriented Construction, that is OOC. So from next onwards, with respect to Object Oriented System Development, we are going to use these three phases as a part of Object Oriented Software Development. Here you can see three main rectangles consisting some rectangle in which various phases, or we will say various processes, are mentioned. Now we will start with the first phase of the Object Oriented Software Engineering SDLC. It is Object Oriented Analysis. Object Oriented Analysis in Object Oriented Software Development concerned with determining the system requirement by identifying classes and relationship between the classes in the required domain. Here three terms are important. You can see system requirement, identifying classes and relationship, and required domain. Here system requirement comes from the end user of the system. Identifying classes and relationship between those classes are done by the analyst, and the required domain is nothing but the requirement given by the end user in which we have to perform the development. Object oriented analysis also identifies users, we will say actors, and how they use the software. The term actors mentioned in this statement we are going to discuss on the next chapter. Object oriented analysis always consider the scenario to help the analyst to understand the requirement as mentioned by the end user. In this phase, everything that end user mentioned as a part of requirement has to be understood or has to be considered by the analyst so that it can be get implemented when the development going to be happen. According to the scientist Ivor Jacobson, object-oriented works with use case diagram to understand the scenario to describe end users' interaction with the software. This is the pioneer of object-oriented analysis. Object-oriented analysis helps in determining who does what in the interaction among objects and what role that end users play by using their relationship. These two type of questions are answered by the object oriented analysis phase. Object-oriented analysis also supports collaboration that describe the interaction among objects to achieve given goal. With this analysis phase, it also has some techniques like object modeling, dynamic modeling, and functional modeling. We'll start with the term object modeling. In object-oriented analysis, object modeling develops the static structure of the system or the software in terms of object. Here, static structure of the software is nothing but the unreplaceable part of the software when it comes to the development. This technique helps in identifying the object, the classes into which the objects can be grouped into, and the relationship between the object. This is the important task of object modeling technique. This technique also identifies the main attribute and operation of each class which is the part of software. This object modeling technique can be visualized in some steps, which are: it helps in identifying objects and grouping them into the classes with their relationship, then defining the user, object and attributes, and at the last defining the operations that should be performed on the classes. With these steps, it helps in combining or reviewing the glossary regarding object-oriented analysis. The another technique of object-oriented analysis is functional modeling. It is the final component of object-oriented analysis. Functional modeling shows the process that are performed within an object and how the data changes as object moves between methods. To explain this statement, we will have an example. Let us consider a class book having two types: books for undergraduate course, books for postgraduate course. But when we have to use the class with its predefined methods, at that time we have to create an only object to access undergraduate as well as postgraduate books. That is functional modeling. Functional modeling specifies the meaning of the operation of object modeling and the actions by dynamic modeling. In corresponds to data flow diagram of traditional analysis process that helps in software engineering process when we use with the basic SDLC. Then it follows some steps like identifying all the inputs and the outputs for the software, to construct data flow diagrams showing functional dependencies, stating the purpose of each function used or going to be used for the software, then identifying constraints, the conditions useful for the software, and at the last specifying optimization criteria. In dynamic modeling, now the term it suggests itself dynamic, that changes, that varies. Okay, so when it comes to the software development, the software's behavior with respect to time, with respect to the external changes are get analyzed, and to perform that analysis we have to use dynamic modeling technique. This technique is a way of describing how an individual object responds to events, either internal events triggered by other object or external events triggered by the outside world. This is the two constraint or the condition in which we can use dynamic modeling that will help us to analyze the system. This modeling technique also has its own steps. It is like identifying state of each object, identifying events, and then analyzing the applicability of actions, then constructing dynamic model diagram with the comparison of state transition diagram, expressing each state in terms of object attributes, and validating the state transition diagram which has drawn on analyzing the applicability of the actions. Now we are at the topic object oriented construction. This is the phase of object oriented system development, SDLC. When the analysis model is not sufficiently formal, but still we follow the object oriented analysis to develop a software. Then constructor software must be get adapted to the implementation environment such that it validates the analysis result. These two statements are useful to consider how analysis and construction phase are related to each other. Object-oriented construction phase used to identify the implementation environment. This phase helps in identifying and investigating the consequences that the implementation environment will have after design. This phase incorporates conclusions and develop a first approach of a design model. Here the first approach of the design model is nothing but the prototype of the proposed system. Object-oriented construction phase uses process combining sub-processes of designing, building, and implementing the proposed model. It helps in redefining the analysis model in the light of the actual implementation. This is where the programmer or the developer works hard by coding their logic with the help of some programming language. In object-oriented construction phase, designing model decide how different issues such as database management system or DBMS or programming language features and operation will be handled. It composes a block of code which are specific to class. Whereas in the building model of object-oriented construction phase, developers attempt to implement analysis model using some programming language. Here in object oriented software engineering, if we are considering object orientation, it means we have to use object oriented paradigm based programming language to implement the model. This building model of object oriented construction phase used to obtain a clear traceability to the analysis model. This is where we confirm what we have analyzed by implementing the prototype by using programming language. This model works for final structure that should reflect how the implementation environment has affected construction. We can take an example. If the programming language does not support inheritance, the model must reflect how the inheritance is really implemented. This is what analysis is get used as a base for the construction in object-oriented system development. And this is what we are discussing, the development of the real world entity into the model based on object oriented paradigm. In the picture on your screen, you can see there is a real world entity which is given in the form of plane. Then to represent that real world entity, we have to build a class having some attribute with values to that attribute. Here you can see the class with name airplane with some attribute like identification, operation and status. All these attributes having their own values associated with them. Okay, that is what we are thinking, or that is what we have to discuss, why object oriented system development is there to answer real world problems.